I don't think so. What? Clay is my friend. We all know I love Clay Dabble. Clay, to me, is a cool dude. I wheel retarded 15-year-old Asian prostitute.
Right, Emma?
Thank you. This Dabbleverse is not fucking friendly.
Right, Emma?
Oh, hey, Froggy.
I'll be on the prowl. Be on the prowl. Wheelchair prison. This is content. Man, I'm an idiot. I have feelings. News pay ya. How are you, penis? I haven't seen you in a while. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, yeah. Give it away, give it away, give it away, give it away, yeah.
We stand with penis.
Put it in my ass!
I'm the GOAT! Mike Huntsmills.
You're fat and you talk like a moron.
Now I'm sideways. Joseph. Unbearable. Wait. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh. Werner von Braun. Hello? Let's see. Buenos dias, Juan El Tagamenda Amanda. I don't know. Because I'm going to shoot you, don't see him. I would beat the fuck out of Shuli. Fucking asshole. That ain't going to fucking happen. Then we'll see how you like it. By the way, you put the loon in lunar. You dumb fuck, and fucking deuce pay it. Ass a butt raping you. Huge asshole. Deuce pay ya. Deuce pay ya. Hey, deuce pay ya. Deuce pay ya.
Super chat machine.
What, Kev? Wow, producer Joe, you know good guy. You know good guy. Oh, I have become uncomfortably numb. Secret aging man. Haystacks Calhoun.
Point DabblePoint. A Stuttering John Melendez roundtable discussion.
Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Point DabblePoint, a real melting pot. So many people from so many different walks of life come together once a week to review the week in stupidity, aka Stuttering John. Hello, Shuli here with you. My guest today, you know, the WATP god himself, Karl Clubfoot Eberger in the building. What's up, Karl?
What's up, Shuli? Yeah, I was going to say melting pot. We have the access powers and
Yep.
the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's gonna be brought out onto the table this goddamn week, and we're either gonna hate each other or we're gonna love each other. That's it.
It's Christmas.
There you go. Let me introduce the best looking goyim in the building, Missy B, ladies and gentlemen, Missy B, and of course, my man EDR. Bro, David Reed in the building, comedian extraordinaire, journeyman, traveler, real aficionado of John. While on the road busting his ass, he doesn't miss a moment of John, which I love.
I gotta tell you, not only do I not miss a moment, I'm like so caught up in this Dabbleverse thing. It's taking me, and I'll tell you, I did a show at the Pell Center in York, Pennsylvania, at this theater, and someone came up to me after a show, and I can't remember, and gave me a keychain, and he says to me, he just looks at me and says, "This is so much better than that potato bar you performed at last time." And then we both looked at each other and went, "It was a barbecue restaurant," and everyone's standing around us going, "What the heck is going on?" So I appreciate the people that even see me on this that come out and be a part of seeing the show. So that's really cool.
No problem, man. Listen, it's good to have you, and everybody. For those I know you've kept tabs on this week, but there are people out there that have missed episodes of WATP, of Rico, of anything but John, because it's impossible to watch it, straight out the tap. But we do a little thing where we kind of catch people up here with a little clip package of what you may have missed during the week. So, Frog, if you will, please. Thank you.
People to call the superintendent, and that's what the potato did. So, but again, Neil, he's not. It doesn't hurt me. It hurts those kids who had probably the most because I can't work for that kind of money. It's fucking ridiculous. And so I didn't. I already told them, that I wasn't going to be back. So it really doesn't make it. I mean, all they're doing, man.
I love that it went from "you're only hurting the kids" to "I'm not working for that kind of chump change." What the fuck is that? Don't insult me.
And and they continue, doing it. I mean, and now
this was actually one of the biggest highlights of the week. I got to be honest. I was glued watching this.
I was in Detroit this past week. I was over at my friend Drew's house. We were watching this episode, and he pointed something out. He's astute like this. So he gets up and walks away and then comes back. He combed his hair.
Yes.
I didn't realize when he's sitting there staring at himself, he's just like, "Oh shit, I forgot to comb my hair."
Yeah.
That's why he got up.
Yeah. It reminds me when I was hanging out with a buddy once and we were on shrooms and we were getting ready to leave. And I stopped in the bathroom and looked in the mirror and I just thought, I'm seeing shit melting. What do I think I'm going to fix here now? My hat, my beard, what am I going to do? I'm a mess. The same thing with him. He gets up to come back with his hair combed as if that's going to make everything look normal.
I know that's what I mean. He's so gross. I'm not keying in on the hair, but Drew picked it out. It was impressive.
Oh man.
Check. This is the best. I just watched him a little bit last night because he was trying to play this video and I couldn't wait because at this point, well, not really. I want to keep the kids safe, but at this point, if he has no idea what's coming down the pike. But the problem is, I didn't think any troll was going to be in that room. Else, I would have taken the proper precautions. But I didn't know.
That's my favorite. You weren't taking the proper precautions. You went to court. Isn't that the precaution you take? You went to court. There's a not federal judge, but there's a judge there. Like, you don't take, shouldn't you take that precedent?
Well, also, you shouldn't be in a classroom while you're, thinking that you are safe and your identity and privacy is covered. What about the children that you're working with and their privacy?
Okay,
That
so
was never,
the resignation. And there was a big tell, and John's tells are getting easier to spot lately, which is great. Makes it fun for everyone playing at home as well. But the resignation letter he talked about, he's like, well, I've already told them I'm done by, Wednesday. I'll never work again. And then all of a sudden after that Wednesday that the cops came over to check on the cats, he said, oh, I had to write a letter of resignation. As a substitute teacher, that's not true. It doesn't exist. Right. So right there's a tell. It's just like, well, they wouldn't ask for that. You just be like, yeah, stop calling me. I'm not going to come in anymore.
I like the, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, so we were talking about this right before the show started. So I went back and checked, and I found the exact spot where there is, John admitted it just now to Pat Dixon. He said, well, so they're talking about how much he enjoyed teaching the kids. He goes, well, I did, but I had to resign. And then he goes, well, I didn't have to resign. And then right after that, he said, he's talking to this woman, Joyce, at the school. And he goes, Joyce, I don't need this. I just resigned. You guys don't pay me enough money anyway. He just admitted all of this on the show just now.
And I brought this up last night that he slipped up, Frog, somewhere in the package we were watching last night, where he said, I was on the phone with them or something. And it sounded like to me that he was pissed off and he's screaming at them and probably said, well, you know what? I quit. And as soon as they heard that, they said, you got it, John. No problem. You know what? Well, it's been a good run. It's probably best because if he didn't get this, I have a feeling I don't know. He didn't get this job himself, right? He has to go through some sort of employment agency for substitutes, I'd imagine.
I think it's funny how his job is he, whatever job he has or takes, he heightens it so much. It's like we're talking about a scientist. It's substitute teaching. And to put it in perspective, someone asked me the other day, hey, would you mind coming in and substitute? I have no ability or in my own mind to be able to do that. So that even makes it show to me how simple it is. But if you listen to it and they weren't talking about substitute teaching and you didn't know he was talking about that, you'd think he was talking about like splitting atoms or being a scientist or something.
In his mind, he is a tenured professor at a prestigious Ivy League school.
Yes. Well, he was music production was his title for second graders.
Second graders.
Yeah, like that's
whatever
insane.
happened to the ad agency. Now that was a full lie. I mean, I'm assuming, but like,
yeah, that one didn't stick.
At 11 o'clock, we all get together, and you know what he did? I guarantee he took the structure in which the writers work with late night shows. During the day, 11 o'clock, I had an inside. I was an intern at late night, and I remember that time everybody got in a room. Everyone was there at 11 o'clock. I think, and I'm pretty sure Jay Leno's was the same. Everybody has the same thing going on. So I'm sure he applies what he has experienced and just shoehorns it into other jobs and just thinks you're too stupid because you've never been to the Tonight Show, so you would never understand. So if he applies that work structure throughout the day and just copy and masks it over to another job that he makes up, we're not going to question it because he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So retarded.
Yeah, he thinks everyone is dumb as he is, which is why he's fun to listen to. But to your question about the ad agency lie, he came out this past week and said the ad agency wasn't his lie. So therefore, it's not his, even though he was lying about that, someone else had said that he worked at an ad agency before he did, and therefore it wasn't his lie, and therefore
he followed through with it.
No, Missy B, you don't understand. If somebody says lie and you repeat it, you're not lying. Even though you know it's not true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he's the one who brought it up and then claimed we fell for it. That we went running on the internet and said, guys, you're not going to believe this. He really does have a job at an ad agency ad agency and ate prime rib for lunch today.
Well, here's the advantage he has over all of us, and it makes me slightly jealous. It's like he lies so much, and we really don't care. We expect him to lie.
Right.
Okay. We just like being able to pick out the lies. If I were to lie to any of the three of you and you caught me, I mean, I would be so embarrassed that I wouldn't even come out again. And that would change our relationship completely.
Right.
It would
Lose
change it.
credibility.
But with him, we expect it from him. He has carte blanche in lying.
Yeah, and Karl brought up, it's getting easier to see his tells and to guess his tells. And it's like, imagine as a poker player, if you played against a guy every day for 2-3 years straight, you would know exactly what he has just by looking at his face. And that's where we're at with John, is he's lied so much for so long that that here we are sitting here, as soon as he looks up or tilts his head, we're like, there we go. Gotcha. Yeah.
EDR, it reminds me of Lenny Dykstra tried to sue for defamation, and they're like, you don't have a reputation. No one can say anything about you that isn't like either public perception or true. So you can't sue for defamation. Like, John has zero credibility. So when John lies, none of us just be like, I think he's lying about this. I got to get out and do an emergency show. I think John's lying about this ad agency thing. We're just like, of course he's lying about the ad agency thing. There's zero cred.
I also think he might be fooling us slightly. Here's the thing that amazes me about it is the fact that this Dabbleverse is so huge, and everything is I mean, it's brought Missy in, it's brought Anthony in. I mean, it just brought all these people in from all over the place, and everyone seems to be making songs, all the other stuff. It surprises me that he's the only person that hasn't figured out the right way to take advantage of this, to put a little extra money in his pocket where he's not trying to beg for $2 super chats. You would think, since he was the head of it, that he'd be able to turn around and go, well, wait a minute, I'm the head of this thing. Maybe I should show up at the next DabbleCon. Not even stay, just run through or something like that.
I think it was Anthony Zenhauser said last night that, like and even Ant said it too on Uncle Rico, was that he's not even big enough to go to those Comic-Con things, just sit at a booth, sign a couple of things, whatever. But his opportunity to do something like that is at DabbleCon, and he won't even just dip his toe into it. Even if he was there for 10 minutes, just to experience, but he doesn't want to see that reality. He has no control over it. Narcissists need there's the first time I said it. I feel like there's going to be a tally for every time I say it. But they do need that. They need full control. They need to know where all the exits are, metaphorically speaking, but where everything is, so that they can have full control, because it's so unpredictable and it will catch him on his lie, aka just existing in reality.
Well, first of all, speaking of lies, let's get to the first topic to discuss here, which is the departure. His announcement that I know this has been the lead topic about 27 times on this show in the since John's return. But
not a rerun, everyone's brand new episode.
Yes, John's
16th, 2024.
Right, John's departure. Let's start with this. Go around, Missy, you first, please. Do you think he's leaving on December 31st?
He's gonna disappear for a second. He's gonna little hiatus. He's never actually gone. He's never committed to that. He's never committed to really anything except that Coors Light. And but he really, I don't think he's gonna be gone that long. I think it literally is like he's faking you, like, oh, new year, new Duke. He's not gonna do that. It's like such a convenient time in which he's saying that. But hey, everybody's gonna be making a fitness or any sort of New Year's resolutions, and guess what? That shit goes away after about 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I won't even give him that.
EDR thoughts? Is he going this time?
No, he's not going away. And at least from what I watch and what I gather, anytime he takes a leave of absence, it's to take care of something actually that's real in his life. And it's always something. Well, I got to go to court. I got to do this. I got to, I'm even doing the impression bad now. And there's no bad John impression.
No, any impression.
I think every time he goes away, it's to take care of something that these walls come down and he goes, yeah, you know what? I really got to take care of this part of it. So he's not going away. His ego is too big. I mean, if I were him, I wouldn't go away. I mean, what else does he have besides this?
Karl, is he going this time?
So if you think of it as a New Year's resolution, I completely agree with you, Missy B, because, and the reason why New Year's resolutions don't work is because if you really felt that you needed to change your life, you just do it today. You wouldn't be like, in 3 weeks from now, I'm going to be a better person. Just like start right now, if that's what you want to do. But there is a rumor going around that he's going to rehab, that he's going to quit drinking, and that this is some 90-day program. Now, I'll be honest, I'm skeptical. I don't think a 59-year-old man who has already shunned his family in every single way and done everything he can to avoid his reality and what's wrong with him would all of a sudden now be like, all right, fine, I'll quit drinking and get my shit together. I don't see it happening. But if that is the reason that he goes away, then that's awesome. And I hope that is the case.
I agree with everything you said, Karl. First off, yes, if this is something that's causing you pain, your family pain, you leave immediately. You don't even have to tell anybody why you're going. You don't owe that to anyone but yourself and your family. Second, this is a grift, okay? The fact that he's still announcing, hey, I'm winding down. This is to get as much super chats and as much money as he possibly can because he's going to leave. He has to. He's painted himself into a corner now but he's already given himself an out. He goes, I'll be back with the political show. And so John's going to go on the political show and not talk about the Dabbleverse. John's going to be on Twitter and not talk about the Dabbleverse. There is no way in hell that he is going anywhere, because anywhere outside of here, one factor is 100% reality, and that is he's going to have to work. And this is the only place where he doesn't have to work. He can send out a link to Rob. He can send out a link to Clay. He can sit there. Vince sends him stuff. This one sends him stuff. And he hits go live. He talks trash. And that's his day. And all of a sudden, he's going to give a shit about his family? No way.
I want to discuss this then, since you brought that up. I wanted to pull this clip, and I can't remember if I did or not, if we played on WTP this week or not. But I saw Clay ask him about, what are you going to do for income?
Yeah.
And John goes, first I have plenty of money and all that kind of stuff. But he also said, I might be able to cash in my pension a year early.
Yeah.
So John is thinking about this. The fact that that was a thought in his head that came out very quickly, cash in my pension. And, I got to see what the penalty is going to be and what that's going to work out to be. So he's already looking at that. So is there a scenario where John's like, I'm not long for this world. I should be waiting until I'm 65, but I'll just take whatever money they'll give me, whatever percentage of it they'll give me. And like he did when he left Leno, he lived for a year unemployed because Leno gave him $110,000 severance. And John went, sweet, I'm going to Pickwick every day at 3.
Well, and another telling factor in the fact that he's not going anywhere is the fact that he's already laying out some sort of plan where monthly, in his mind, Kevin Brennan's going to give him $2,000 a month to come on and catch everybody up on what's been going on in John's world for $2,000 a month. So he's not going anywhere. He's consolidating the hate. He's saying, instead of saying, I'm not going to read $2.99 insults, only $4.99. Now he's saying, I'll only come on and let you insult me and my family for $2,000 flat rate. That's what he's saying. So yeah, that's my take on it.
He's just trying to get the reaction out of everybody.
Yeah.
It's the same people who say that they're going to give up social media but need a post about it just to see people go, oh my God, no, don't go.
Yeah.
Like that's what he wants. He just wants somebody just to be reaching at him with such a bold statement, but it's not even that bold because he saturated it for his repetitive announcements about it.
Yeah.
But he has that reaction in Clay, and he shits all over Clay, which is funny.
Yeah.
Because I don't think he wants it from Clay.
Right.
I don't think he wants it from Clay. He wants it from somebody else. He already knows that he has Clay. He already knows that he has Rob. If as much as he says about Missy, if she were to turn around and give him that love that he's looking for, he'd be out of his mind. So he doesn't want those guys that he has already.
He'd be like, the trains did run on time. That is true.
But you bring up a great point, EDR, because during his rants this week, a couple times, when he was pissed at Chad, he kept calling Clay Chad during the interview. And then when he got pissed at Cardiff, he kept calling Clay Cardiff a few times. So I was saying, like, it almost seems like Clay is the, patient zero for John to kind of attach whoever he's pissed at physically in front of him and attack. He's like a heavy bag. Clay's like a heavy bag. He's just there to take punches from John. At least that's what it feels like. Lie Spider. I tell lies all the time, and that is the truth. Thank you, Lie Spider.
Can that be the truth? He's lied all the time.
The Lie Spider. It's confusing. Don't get caught up in it. Barnes and Noobs. Stuttering John's latest target, Adam Bush, breaks him down objectively without any malice or anger. He doesn't really goof on him. John doesn't know how, nor is he mentally equipped to handle Adam. He's done nothing to you, dummy.
Yeah. He just had a tweet about Adam. I think it was today or yesterday, where he's calling him a lowlife and everything because he's like, he's going on. You're going on Hitler loving shows, not Hitler shows, but the people who love Hitler's shows. so that's why he doesn't like Adam. That's what he's saying. But even when you watch some of his tweets and everything, even his tweets sound really lonely.
Oh yeah. His tweets sound lonely. That's
a great point.
He posted a picture. I think it was his grandmother, was an older woman a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
That one? And I actually went on there and I said, "Hey man, great pic."
Yeah.
Because I was like, because it made him look human for one.
Right.
It made him look human for one. And then he came on and said something like 15 minutes later, and I disliked him. I've never met anyone to get such a rise out of me. And I've texted Karl many a time and just say, I want to punch him in the face, talk me down off of it. And I'm not a violent guy, but man, some of the things is like, you think he wouldn't understand it unless there was physical contact involved. And when he talks about fighting people, that makes you want to fight him even more. So
sure.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going to add to Karl's, rumor theory about going to some sort of rehab or whatever. Is it possible? Okay, I'm going to say it anyway. We'll pick it apart. That maybe he is doing that because he has somebody he might be interested in who doesn't like that he does that. So he needs to just create the work to get their attention, to have them, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just going to change this so that this person will be in my life. And then once they're in my life, I'm just going to go back to my old ways.
Yeah, it could be a family member for sure.
Oh, family member? I was going to say a love interest.
Like I think Christmas is coming up. I'm sure he's reached out to the kids. He's talking about buying them gifts. Probably he's opened some lines of communication he hasn't had for a while. And they're like, Dad, you got to get off the internet. You're embarrassing us. I'm speculating, obviously.
Right.
But that would make the most sense to me. That he's like, all right, I'll tell you what. New Year's resolution, January 1st. I stopped drinking. I'm out of the Dabbleverse.
I mean, it's a sweet story, but I think everybody in that family's pretty much tapped out on trying to reach him. Love interest is great, but it's impossible. I mean, what the hell is going to fall in love? I mean, imagine the mess that falls in love with that mess.
Well, I got to meet her.
Listen, I get it. There's a lid for every pot. I'm with you, but sometimes you don't want to find that fucking lid. You know,
Hype Eric in a dress is what I'm picturing right now.
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny because maybe he doesn't think. I like what Missy's saying, but on the other hand, maybe he doesn't even think he's the problem. Maybe he's like,
for sure, not.
I don't think I'm the problem. So I don't think I'm the problem, but I'm gonna go do this so people will stop nagging me, basically, and staying off my back. Because when I think about his kids and stuff, I would think if his kids had anything to do with him, that he would probably they would be in some way on the internet protecting them or something. But there's nothing. So obviously they've kind of given.
He's very selfish. He's too selfish for that. Think of the most selfish thing you could possibly do. And he will do that 10 times over.
What does this say? The district made him resign as it would make him ineligible to work in any school in the district. They don't call you anymore to sub. It's posted and sub signed, take that position. So in a way, by them allowing him to resign, they did him a favor. if in the future maybe he can sub again if he resigned rather than being fired and then right? I mean,
That makes
would that
sense.
make a difference? Yeah.
What was the timeline of it? Now, did he lose? What can we speculate that it was possibly the court Zoom that caused the?
Oh, it was.
Okay,
100%.
I was I wasn't sure of the orientation of all that.
Yeah.
So basically, the Zoom court was Tuesday morning. Cardiff
Okay.
tweeted about it Tuesday morning. I think that John, because he thought that video was going to come out immediately, ran to cover his ass to the assistant principal and try to like make excuses for that. And then by Wednesday, the next day, he's having phone calls with whoever at the school going, all right, fine, I'll just resign then. Because that's basically what I heard him say today. So him doing court when he has a second grade class and no TA in the room is like, you can't be teaching our kids that. What were you thinking?
Right.
John is a good guy, says
Good
Clearwater.
point, Clearwater Chad. Good point.
Yeah. No, you're all right. You're all right with me, Chad. Don't send that cunt the link. What cunt?
Sorry. Too late.
When Stuttering John fake smacks Clay Dabbler, it gives me the same vibes as Steel Toe fake choking April. Seems a bit too real. I think Stuttering John smacked his family. I mean, let's hope not.
I hate that bit so much.
Yeah. Stuttering John's a lowlife. Get ALS, the disease. Thank you, Torito. Used to listen to EDR on 105.7. The X was pleasantly surprised when he showed up in the Dabbleverse. What's Jen Shade up to these days?
Oh, wow. Jen Shade's one of the co-hosts. She's very involved in charity stuff. She's a avid motorcycle advocate. I mean, she's all over the place. It was a great show. I was on there for 15 years, but it got to be too long after a while, but I appreciate that. It was a lot of fun.
Can you show her a picture of John's bike and see if she says if it's a man or a
well, you know what? It's
bike?
funny you mentioned that because every time we talk about motorcycles and everything, I think I'm going to do that. I mean, it's funny. He talked about boats the one time and having a boat, and I had a boat too, and I had a Scarab. And I'll tell you right now, they're not fun to have.
They're a nightmare.
Looking boat. Just think of a black guy on the water would look like in a boat.
Yeah.
And
was this like AI or something? What are you talking about?
It was like it had speakers on it and everything, and it was ridiculous.
It had rims on it for some reason.
It was that name my boat was "I'ma Be Sick" on it. And the girlfriend I had at the time wanted to name it Dreams Come True. And I said, well, she says, why do you want to name it I'm gonna be sick? Because I said, because everybody's dreams don't come true, but everybody's going to be sick. And so I won that argument. And then it worked out fine. But yeah, even with his boat story, when he was talking about that, he had a boat, he didn't have a boat. I don't know what his money is exactly, but I have to believe there's the money he has is his mom's money. And I don't think she's connected too much to realize how he's throwing around boasting about the money that he doesn't have, which is hers.
Well, it's funny you bring up his money because I think it was yesterday or day before he was going over the bets he made on football on his show. And it just struck me. I'm like, here's a guy crying to Vince, crying to everybody, send me money, blah, blah, blah. Vince, I can't pay you. Yet he's got no problem to lay down money on all these NFL games. And of course, he picked the Giants to cover, and they got destroyed by the Ravens. So it's like
I have to point this out. Easiest bet yesterday was Bills Lions over. It was at 54.5. Yeah. I took it. I was at the game. 90 points scored. Yeah, amazing football game. Hope everyone watched it.
Yeah,
EDR does not look happy about it.
A Jew, a Nazi, and a black guy walk into a bar. Stop me if you heard this. Titan, hey Missy, is it true when you and Anthony appear on the same live stream together, there's a giant flash of light at an event horizon starts to form as time and space collapses on itself?
I don't know.
It's one or the other. One or the other. That's the rule. Hey Missy, my wife and I met you guys at DabbleCon. I was the drunk jujitsu guy. How fast do you think you could choke out Stuttering John? And what are you doing about Jews in South Carolina?
Okay, that's a loaded question or multiple. John doesn't even have a neck. I don't even know how to even get around it. It's like not even there. So I can definitely drop him. I definitely would drop that guy. He's
Oh.
he's top heavy. He's
Yeah.
very bulky
Yeah.
up here, lengthy at the bottom. How am I doing with the
Yeah.
Jews? I'm just going to church every Sunday. That's how I handle them.
You'll never find him there. Smart. Jake Fire gifting a membership. Thank you, Jake. Appreciate you, sir. Was gonna insult Stuttering John's kids on his show, but here you go. Well, thank you. You made the right call. You know.
Oh,
We
is he
will read
live?
Your $2 and $1.99 super chats if you want to.
Yeah.
Here.
What do we got? Colonel Klink. I've been watching since WATP's second Stuttering John video. I can't say my life has been enriched, but it's been fun laughing at this dotard for 3 years. I watched this clip today of Rogan. He had some guy on and they were talking about drinking. And Rogan was like, if people have ever met somebody that drinks 20 hours a day, those people are excellent teachers in the sense that they teach you lessons you don't have to learn yourself just by them coming into your life. And all I could think about was John.
Yeah.
A lot of people have sobriety stories based on the Dabbleverse. It's great.
Yeah. I'm sure people have emailed you on your show. We've got emails from people saying they started watching a year ago, 2 years ago, and they stopped drinking once they watched John on screen.
My buddy Kaya, who's been doing podcasting forever, pretty well-known guy, younger than me, much younger, sent me a note just like, yeah, I realize I don't want to be like that when I'm in my 50s and I just don't drink anymore.
Well, he is changing people's lives,
He
just
really
not
is.
students, I guess.
Yep.
For Missy, he wants you to read that.
Oh, that's what that means.
Yeah.
Oh God, OJ. Yes. Wait, was I supposed to do it as Stuttering John?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know. I wasn't in on that meeting, so I don't know what he's looking
I
for.
don't know what that is.
Mr. Rex gifted a membership. Thank you, sir.
And finger.
Who in their right mind would do a Zoom meeting for court no less in front of second graders? Of course, the narcissist. Thanks to all of you, Vance 2028. That's a great angle too. That people have mentioned is he looking for sympathy? That's why he's doing it in this classroom to show that he's a part of the community. He's giving back to he's a teacher. He's helping shape the youth of today. Could he be that well thought out?
You think he was like using it for sympathy from the court's perspective?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, look at me. I'm just so busy with these kids.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, his busy task was printing out word searches to give him.
I just can't believe that the court didn't say, hey, listen, why don't you just call us back and do this at another time? I mean, even the background with all the kids running around, you know, it doesn't look professional for him.
Playing the stupid recorder in the background. Shut that kid up.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's a C sharp, not a C natural. These kids.
And it's a $10 fine, I think he got at the end of the day. So he lost his gig for a $10 fine. That's pretty wild. Call screener John doesn't want my $2, so here you go. $2 is welcome here all day, Rando.
That's a good point. Something that I've actually overlooked now that I'm rethinking the way this all went down. And we're looking at the fact that he was forced to resign based on being that Zoom court. His lie for this, which is telling, was that he resigned, put in this 2-week or whatever, because when he got his first paycheck, they weren't paying him enough money, as if he didn't know what he signed up for. He's like, I make less than $20 an hour. And he was surprised. He only figured that out when he got a paycheck finally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a horrible lie. It sounds like you're wildly unprepared, just going through life blindly.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike.
Yeah, nobody would negotiate salary.
Well, and that exactly, and that's when he said, "I put in my notice a long time ago."
Right.
And now today we hear that he was asked to resign from him. So, could Stuttering John be planning on doing the cameras 24/7 high pitch Eric style with Vince starting in January? I haven't heard anyone try that theory yet. I don't know.
No,
I
I
don't
think
think
it
he
would
would
work.
Yeah. Go, Missy, what do you want to say? Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I don't think he's that proactive and doesn't know how to organize and doesn't know how to, prioritize and do. I don't think he has the ability to pull something off like that he will just sabotage it along the way. He can't help himself.
Yeah.
EDR.
I think if someone sets it up for him, he will take it and he will drive it right into a cement wall. That's what it is. You got to set it up. It's like, hey man, you don't even have to get the car. We're going on a trip. We'll rent the car. We'll pay the gas, whatever. All you have to do is drive it. Thanks. Gets in the car. Boom. Right into the wall. Vacation over.
That's how he's handled nearly everything else.
Which
I
could
mean, yeah.
happen. If Vince could get back into his good graces and get the camera set up in his house, that could happen.
I say no, and I'll tell you why. Because I've never seen someone work harder than John to blind everyone from what we all are already seeing.
Right.
So to do a IRL stream, there is no more smoke and mirrors. Your lies have no effect anymore. We now get to see everything 24/7, raw, uncut, unedited. You know, the shit you are mortified for us to see. There is no amount of money that unless he gives him something up front, but even then, he's going to back out of this. There's no way he has the balls to do this.
Yeah.
He has no humility either.
Right.
Right. Exactly. So he's always gonna, like, even with this movie, when you watch the movie, he was like the hero in the whole thing. You know, nothing ever happened to him. He never fell down the stairs. He never had a bad point about it. And so in this, the reason why he would mess it up is because this would be the one time where all he has to do is sit there, and then he would try to act.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't become the show that we're looking for. Now we're watching him eat. He's acting like he's not on the air, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and we're acting like we don't see him in real life. Like we do for 2 to 3 hours a day, but that's John. He's full of lies. He's constantly talking out of his ass, and that's who that guy is.
And
but
snapping at people. Like the
Yeah.
way when he snaps at anybody, whoever this new nasty Nate is, Rob, all of them, like I feel bad for them. I don't care. You know, talk shit about me all you want. I don't care. I feel bad for you that you keep returning to this guy who actually does not have your back. He uses you to make him appear like he has friends, and then he snaps at you.
Mhm.
No, I'm talking. Don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. Shut up. And then he yells. The way he yells, I think I heard Ant say this last night, Uncle Rico, where he goes like, that's how he yelled at his kids. That's how he yelled at his wife. That's how, like, that's who you get if you even step on a toe of John.
Well, and really, at the end of the day, the guy goes scorched earth and insane over opinions. Opinions. That is the starting point of all of this. Is Karl had an opinion that his show was terrible, and John wasn't good at it, and that's
Still hold that opinion today.
Yeah, I back you up. I second.
All right, good.
But that's the opinion, and John is so fragile that opinion is equal to him going after Karl's wife, going after my wife, going after kids, because how dare you have a negative opinion about me after all I've done? Or
differing, not even negative, differing.
Well, differing equals to negative in his brain, right? There is no, if you're not agreeing with me, then you're against me. That's the way he sees it.
I think a great, sorry, you go, Karl.
So that brings me to something I wanted to talk about. So I'm going to introduce a new topic, unless you have something.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to mention to the whole lie opinion thing real quick about when Vince, I don't know if we have that clip at all, when Vince brings up the cat thing. I know it's been played a couple times on the shows, but when he immediately goes, what? I don't know what you're talking about. What? And then he gets rid of this fucking guy. He kicks him off. But then when he gets him back in, he has time to mull over this new lie, agree with it, form it into his theory and everything so that he's comfortable. So he's in control of this announcement that he wasn't prepared to disclose, instead of just being like, oh yeah, that honestly, it is what it is. It's no big deal. The cats are fine. Like, that's how you would handle it.
No, you're right. It was a 10-minute process for him to finally say, okay, they did come over and they did check on the cats. And honestly, he wants to play the victim card. That's the time to do it. Be like, these fucking people are sending cops to my house to check out the cats. Like,
Yeah.
what's wrong with you people? I'm just doing an internet show. Just enjoy it. That was an opportunity.
And
mind blowing.
Along what you said, one of the topics I had, and I'll just add this and we'll move on to Karl's topic, is when he's throwing this shit out and he'll say something, he'll go, what did I lie about? When he says that, there's no part of me that believes that he doesn't know what he's lied about.
Yep.
But at the same time, I think that move is him buying time to get the excuses ready for the fucking list of lies that are going to come at him now.
Perfect
right?
example this week, Shuli. He goes, "Who have I ever tried to get fired?" You know, he's complaining about Karl. Who have I ever tried to get fired? And then it's just like, well, JD Harmeyer, Dr. Steve. You know, you can go through the list of all these people that he's actually actively tried to get fired from their jobs. If you want to talk about getting channels struck, and that's how you make your income, or Patreon's how you make your income, I would say that's all in the same realm of things.
Yeah.
But it's like the balls to be like, who have I ever tried to get fired? And I think it was Rob or Clay, one of these idiots, is just like, yeah, I don't know, John, no one, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think he's comfortable with believing that because maybe he himself didn't try to get anybody fired.
Oh, he did.
I think okay. I'm just figuring this out.
As his former mole, he really tried to fuck things up.
But my point is that he has his flying monkeys. He has his external extensions of himself within these people. There's obviously somebody who say like clips my my tweets or whatever and sends them to him where John has it saved in a folder on like a Google Drive. Like that's hilarious. Like that's some dedication.
And
but I know John
to do Missy B.
He like has. I don't think he doesn't have enough. He's not organized or proactive enough to do that. He can't go out, clip it, save it, organize it that way. He has one of his minions doing it, which is fine. But I think that's where maybe sometimes he feels comfortable with that little bit of a lie. Hey, I didn't come up with that lie. Someone else did. And then I just, snowball it. So he has these weird truth breakers. I don't know what it is. It's maniacal and it's psychopathic. It's pretty crazy. But let's get on to Karl's thing. I feel bad.
Yeah, go ahead, Karl.
Oh, no problem. I think it was Barnes and Noobs earlier, a super chat talking about Adam Bush. So I wanted to talk about this because John was going on this whole thing. Everyone turns on me.
Yep.
And the latest is, of course, Adam Bush. And the tweet that he put out was he called him a fucking cowardly sellout.
Okay.
And the thing that he said on his show when he was talking about Adam Bush, he goes, and then he appears on every show trashing me. And I think that was the point Barnes and News made, where it's like, Adam is brilliant and observant. And he tells you how he's perceiving what he's seeing and what he's witnessing. And a lot of it's just nod our heads like, yes, that's great. I didn't think it that way. Or that's what I was thinking too, or whatever it is. He's never trashing John, but John perceives all of this as trashing. Now I received a note from Adam. He couldn't be on today, but John went through and showed all of the DMs on Facebook that he got from Adam before Adam's initial appearance on John's show. And of course, from there, he came on my show. He came on Uncle Rico. He's been on Point DabblePoint a bunch of times. So John thinks he's uncovered this thing where Adam was begging to come on his show in order to turn on him and trash him. Now, John's completely forgotten their conversation. Right. He doesn't remember who he is because when Clay Dabb was just like, hey, this Adam Bush guy, he's like a pretty big deal. And John's like, I don't even know who that is. Like, he was on your show, John. John just doesn't remember anything. But when Adam was on that show, and it might be interesting to go back and uncover some of this stuff, he literally said that I've reached out to you multiple times. I've been trying to come on your show. This is the stuff that John's going, look at, he reached out to me multiple times. And I was like, yeah, no, I reached out to him multiple times. I told him that he helped me get on the Howard Stern show, and I appreciated that. And I wanted to talk to him about it. But he didn't lie to John about anything. John goes, so you're in the Dabbleverse? And Adam goes, yeah. And John goes, so what, do you watch like all the shows? And Adam goes, I watch all the shows. Do you remember that? That's one of my favorite parts ever. Yeah, he's like, you watch all the shows? He goes, oh, I watch all the shows, John. I'm a fan of all the shows. It was so funny. And so Adam let me know, he's like, obviously there's no reveal here. John has no recollection of their conversation.
Of course not. And listen, I look at Adam as like, I love when Tom Brady's on the call, because Tom Brady has a perspective that none of the other announcers have. And I think Karl, myself, a lot of us are so personally attached to John, whether we like it or not, that Adam is coming from. He's like a judge in tennis. He's up here and he's watching everything, and he has this perspective that is not. It's not based in any type of anger or hate or bitterness or anything. It's just like a satellite view of what we're all seeing. It's just a different take, and he's phenomenal at it.
Yeah.
Which is,
and he's fascinated by it. So he's
Yeah.
interested in it.
Yeah,
don't get
I'm sorry. He got in close. He got really in close. He got behind enemy lines. I think that's what bothers John the most, because his interview with him was like out of amazement. It wasn't like, John, you're an idiot. It's more like, John, how do you function, sort of a thing. I watched Adam Bush. I didn't really know who he was until he did that interview, and then went down that rabbit hole with him. And he's great. He's a great, brilliant guy. But I think that's what disturbs John, is that someone got that close to him and then just kind of got away from him and is just telling all the secrets. It's like kind of like Alfred telling you, here's how you get to the Batcave and everything,
yes, and the fact that Adam's really good at it, that bothers John too. Because if Adam sucked,
and everyone loves Adam. John
yes.
hates it, and there might be a personality disorder going on here. But John gets so upset when someone else is beloved. I mean, again, Dr. Steve.
Yeah.
He couldn't believe that, like, but we're the Dr. Steve enemies. Where's the subreddit that I could get it with the other guys who hate Dr. Steve? Like, yeah, they don't exist, John. Sorry. Everyone likes Dr. Steve. Why? Like,
yeah.
Some people are just great people.
Yeah, that was a great backpedal to watch in real time, where he thought people would get with him and join him in taking down Dr. Steve's livelihood. And then it backfired. He's like, I never did that. Unbelievable. Shuli, Karl, Missy, can't you see this man is a narcissist?
What's that?
I'm starting to see that.
John is afraid to learn how meaningless he is.
Ooh.
I got news for you. We all are. The Dabbleverse ain't that big.
Yeah.
Everybody calm down. Hey, Woody from Syracuse. Hello, y'all. Hello, Missy. Got a question for you. I saw on Twitter that you practice martial arts. If so, what do I study, and what's your OBI belt or OB belt?
I don't know what that means. I am a 4-stripe blue belt. I've been a blue belt for a long time because I've reset. I've gone to new gyms, and you have to be there for a year to qualify for the most part. Nonetheless, I just train here. I train Brazilian jiu-jitsu. It's wonderful. I've been doing it for a long time. It's my therapy.
Yeah.
What was the other question to it? Did I catch?
Your belt was.
I did the
your
belt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then something about Jews, but whatever. Let's move on. The only way John goes to rehab is his mom has some legal paperwork saying he will be completely cut off and the Cape Coral house is gone if he doesn't do it.
That's possible. The other family members might have gone to mom and said, look, we got to change something here.
Well, much like forming a union, they all have to be in on this together, man. Yeah. That's the only thing that's going to help it. But again, I feel like he's 60. What are they going to do at this point?
You know what we should do when John, let's say John leaves? I think we need to have a reenactment of what his intervention would be if we were there.
Ooh.
John, your alcoholism has been hilarious in the following ways. I just
my God.
write our letters for him.
He's gonna be like Christopher. He sat on his cat.
I'm
don't do that for warm.
Wait, we're doing this.
Thinking about that.
We're doing this.
Yeah,
when Christopher went to rehab and they ended up beating him up.
He came in. Your head was in the toilet. Your hair was in the toilet water. Disgusting.
You're weak.
You're out of control.
Lie Spider works in 4D chess, Lady K. Menser.
I'm still playing 2D checkers over here.
OG Mumbling Nick on his show today. John called for his trolls to go after Adam Bush and ruin his life. It's Dr. Steve all over again. Adam is loved. Stuttering John can't take it.
Yeah, and that was a chat from a while ago before we brought that up, and that's
been sitting there. Rehab only works if you want it. He's still denying he has a problem. Asa money wasted. He'd have to be able to admit having a problem. Well, what was the clip I saw yesterday where somebody said, He was muttering. Jay said you're an alcoholic, and he said, was it self-admitted alcoholic? And he
Yep.
said, no. He said dysfunctional alcoholic. He corrected him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Muttering Jay turned on him and he complained about everything that Muttering Jay said about him, down to arcade removal. He goes, I also delivered them. I swear to God, like, he just had to find fault.
Oh man,
Muttering Jay said it was wild.
I also delivered them. That's brilliant.
I like millionaires delivering arcade machines. That's always good.
Right.
That's always
a hobby.
Yeah. My favorite part of the week was Dabbledo trying to get grift free lunch from Army Major at the Charlotte airport during his upcoming layover, Florida to New York. Did he really? I don't watch his politics show.
I don't watch the politics show, but
No,
I can
God,
totally
no.
see that happening.
Well, you remember when he
tried going through security twice just to go get a free lunch.
Remember when he tried to weasel in on Army Major's Bill Maher booking?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was great.
That was the first thing he said. You're going to Bill Maher? Can I come?
Yeah. And the whole time Army Major's like, yeah, man, yeah, we're doing it. Yeah. And then it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks out. Army Major's like, yeah, it turns out they're not letting me bring anybody.
Right.
Imagine that.
Because John asked every time he was on the show.
Yep.
In John's mind, he would be sitting next to the Army Major during that one-on-one, and he would take over the show because Bill Maher would be like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you're friends with Stuttering John Melendez. Well, John, what's your take on Trump?
Yeah, it's like when Beetlejuice was in the green room. They're like, forget this little person. Bring that guy in here.
Right.
It's almost statistically impossible for Stuttering John to be wrong 100% of the time, to make the wrong decision 100% of the time, but he's a marvel. That's a great point. He's not good.
Yeah.
He's an employee of Kelly Services, not the school district, so he wouldn't resign with them.
Okay.
What's Kelly Services?
Is that a temp agency, maybe?
Is that a
So
temp
that's-
agency?
Oh.
So my thought is the school is helping him out at the end, because if he gets fired, then that agency and him no longer work together. But if he's resigning, maybe they can find him another gig somewhere. So I think they threw him a bone there at the end.
Right.
That makes sense.
Imagine the self-loathing a woman would have to experience to be interested in that slobbering, lonely disaster. Realistically, when do you think's the last time he banged a chick?
It was funny you mentioned that, because I sent that text to Karl like about a month ago, and we had talked about that. It's been years. It's been
I'm
years.
with you.
And I think that's why he goes after Karl and says, well, Karl doesn't have any kids, so Karl must be gay. Okay.
Right.
Because in his world, the only way he can justify ever having sex is the fact that he has kids. Because everything else to this point, we exactly. That's it. So he's had it at least 3 times, we're saying, but he reaches out to everybody else when he brings it out to prove that they don't have it. So
I'd say twice.
I think it's a long time.
Twice.
Yeah. There's one of them that totally doesn't look like him.
Right.
Baba Booey.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
them teeth.
so in a way, kids are credits to him getting laid.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh,
Everything's a credit.
him using his kids for everything.
EDR, to your point though, so John's an incel. He hasn't gotten laid in years, and he's calling me gay. Not for nothing, us gay guys are having sex all the time. It is just not, it's nonstop. I'm storing most mornings.
All you got to do is tap your foot and somebody's coming over to suck your dick.
It's like, I don't know why he keeps thinking that's the big deal, but I don't think it is. I'll tell you, the last time he talked about every woman he's mentioned since I've been listening to, I believe is fake, and it's never really happened. And
I think he has gone on dates, and both have been repulsed by each other. I think that has definitely happened.
I don't know how you even take that first date. I mean, what are you using to set up? Hey, man, I'm the person you want to go out with. I mean, that's the hard part.
We've read his profile. He leads. So he has an old photo on there. We've read his profile. He leads with his credits from the Howard Stern show, from the Tonight Show, and a woman's going through in Cape Coral and going loser. Tonight Show.
Yeah, wow.
Well, and also you have to factor in how bad was that woman's last date, that she looks at John's profile and goes, let's give this a fucking shot.
The guy. Yeah.
You know, how bad did that last one go? Nikki's tree topper is a swastika.
Who's Nikki?
don't know. I think it's
Missy's
supposed
like,
to
can
be
I get
Missy.
that?
Yeah, I want that. Who's Nikki? Give her my number.
Speaking of Nikki, you brought a side out in John that I have never seen him admit to publicly, but we have a clip here that I'd like to play, if you don't mind, Frog, putting that up.
Own financial system. So this is the hate that she spews. Yet,
What should we do, Mr. Liberal? Shut her Twitter down? Go send some cops.
yeah, you should. She's spreading fucking anti-Semitism. You should want her Twitter down, shitware. Not only because you're Jewish, because you're a human being. But I'm a human being.
So, I always thought I was just Jewish, but apparently I'm a human being as well. And second, Mr. Comedian that wants to tour the country, all of a sudden here announcing to the world he's pro-censorship.
Yeah.
I mean,
only the bad type of speech, though. So it's totally okay. There is an entire faction of people in this country that think that there's certain speech that should be censored, which the whole point of free speech is the bad speech that you don't like. That's
right.
That's what you have to protect. Because the other stuff no one gives a shit about. No one's trying to censor that.
And how do you think a person like the Army Major would feel about John wanting to censor people's speech? Or Brian Karam, a reporter.
Those guys are so far. Oh, a reporter? You think they're worried about free speech?
Yeah.
You nuts.
Not that guy. Not that guy. I can tell you that. Yeah, I just love that he's so riled up over these tweets. The guy that wouldn't even admit his kids were Jewish for years.
You know what I was wondering about that, though? Do you
Yeah.
think that maybe he's like scared to say that because he thinks I'd go after his kids because they're Jewish? I'm like, I don't care.
No, I think
I don't
he's
care.
I think he's embarrassed by it.
I think he's embarrassed, but I do think Missy's right too. I definitely think he's trying to cut down on the things that people can get him after, and in his sick mind, he believes that's where she would go. I think.
Your kids aren't Zionists who are infiltrating our government. I don't give a shit.
Could you not bring up what I do in my off time?
I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. But listen, not for nothing. On in the book of What to Goof on Kids For, Jewish isn't on the first couple pages, to be honest with you. But nobody's going after them for that. And the only reason we know anything about his kids in the first place is him.
Yeah.
Right.
Facts.
So all roads lead back to him, man. But I love that this is his, drum that he's beating for the last week and a half now. And there's no part of him that's like, nobody in his world that goes, yeah, people really aren't biting on this. Maybe we should try a different topic or a different angle.
Yeah.
He's just going to keep every guest. Did you hear what I said about? And he's just recapping yesterday's clip. That was the day before's clip. It's wild.
Yeah, that was quite the inception of show clipping.
Yeah, I know. I got a little nuts there.
Yeah, it's a crazy world we're in, guys.
Go back a little bit when you were talking about with the kids and stuff. There was one thing that he did last week that I thought might have been the craziest thing he's ever done. And I don't know whether he's serious or not. And maybe you guys can confirm whether he was serious. But, he was mad at Chaz for making fun of his kids. But Chaz doesn't have kids. So he says, is it okay to make fun of Brennan's kids? So how he got from there and jumped to go after someone else's kids, it's like, that makes like this interesting.
And he asked for justification. He's like, right, Clay?
Yes.
This is what I'm allowed to do, right?
The only other time I've seen him ask the audience for permission was Kate Meany's photos. When he was trying to get the audience to clarify whether or not it's revenge porn. And he's got his finger on the send button. He's dying to get it out there. And instead he texted it to his buddies. But that was the logic. So Chad doesn't have kids. He's talking shit about mine. So who's
what do you
closest
think about that,
to Chad?
EDR? What's your take on that? Is he
I'm
serious
sorry,
about
what's that again?
Do you think he's serious about, like, he wants to go after Kevin's family to teach Chad a lesson?
I actually think that he is, because he just wants to hurt people. He just wants to be able to hurt them because he feels so much hurt. And I think in his mind, he still feels in the hurt game, and rightfully so, that he is still way behind. He is so far behind. So now he's trying to figure out anything that he can make fun of that'll elevate him to that person to the level that he's at, which is probably not going to happen.
So I think it's worse than that. My take on it is that he's trying to get Kevin Brennan engaged in the family thing in order to get even more fireworks going, more eyeballs, because you got MLC who's maybe losing interest in Stuttering John. But if you got Kevin Brennan saying stuff about John's trans kid, like that's a win for John. That's how much he doesn't give a shit about his family. He wants everyone talking about his trans kid, because then every show that's talking about John's trans, oh, because what's John's reaction to it? Now we got to go. It's old Radio Wars stuff.
Yeah.
Ozone, Shuli seems distracted. Does Missy know anywhere we can send him to help with his concentration?
Oh.
Why you?
Oh, they're clever.
Why you? Dead Juice. Instead of Vince sending beer and food, he should send a gay cop stripper service to John's house. Oh, hi, nice to see some color here. Down where we are, there are no gods here except MF Doom. Wow. Thank you. Looney Tunes. Honestly, I'd really like him to go to rehab, because it's a win-win for us. He's not entertaining because he drinks. Meanwhile, he'll never admit he's the problem. If he quits, he'll be a dry drunk. Game on.
Yeah.
There's no. This is the guy who stayed with his arms up, playing a game against his kid for bedtime. Who can keep their arm up the longest? Stayed there for 2 hours, refused to lose to his own kid, kept him up for 2 hours doing the.
I don't know that story.
Yeah, he's told it numerous times. He goes, I come up when he's waxing poetic about what great activities he used to do at bedtime, and he goes, I came up with this game. Who can keep their arm up the longest? And he goes, I stayed there for 2 hours. 2 hours until the kid gave up.
I can keep my hand up for
the entire speech.
Yeah.
you should play that game with him. Call it. Yeah,
oh my God.
Arm game with you.
Cumia, Missy, I challenge you to a salute off. DabbleCon 3. Dill Dog, my man, dropping a 50 bomb in here, brother. Thank you. Get to work, John.
Your dick. I eat cock.
Where is he?
Oh, hey, beautiful man, me.
Somebody bought Bitcoin at 25 cents a coin. Holy
Let's
shit.
go.
Yeah.
There. Wow. Thank you, Dill Dog. Love you, pal. All because a cowardly potato infiltrated the Lee County Federal Traffic Court.
Federal Traffic Court.
He goes, I like when he goes, once I saw him in there with the Santa hat, I knew it was.
I think I like that too. I like when he explains stuff and he's upset about something, and then he hits the word potato. And once he hits that word, it's over. All the credibility just flies out the window.
Well, speaking of which, real quick, just
yes.
before we move past that,
Please.
Everyone, hopefully you watched Potato Soup this past Thursday on Rumble, because Cardiff was talking about what went down. And John claims that Cardiff was trying to get in this Stuttering John-esque gotcha thing at the end of the court case. And it was yelling out, what about the DUI? And John's like, he wants to be me so bad, the judge just shut it down. Cardiff said, my microphone was on mute the entire time. I wasn't talking. I was just watching the proceedings and what was going on. So my question is John lying about that? All right. Don't ask that right away. Or is there another troll in there who's also fucking with John?
Well, I think if there's another troll, we would have heard something by now.
Yeah.
On some show.
John's just lying about that?
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. John's looking for sympathy. So he's padding up the story.
Yeah, I would doubt that anybody who goes to view these has the ability to unmute their mic. Anyway, I'm sure the permission status is like you're muted and you stay muted. Only the people who are in this hearing have the ability.
Missy, and I don't know anything about this except for the fact that when April Imholt had her court appearance,
Okay.
and all of a sudden you hear people yelling stuff about her, and I was like, oh, that's wild. And the judge is like,
Oh.
everyone's got to calm down.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I
again,
don't know.
I think some places have more experience with it than others. Some, some places are bigger than others and are just doing it more. And I think once you see a lawyer with a cat filter on, you gotta second guess all of everything that's going on via Zoom.
Good point.
Yes. DPM crap. I meant Missy's tree. I blame the Jews. We all do. DPM. Get in line.
My sister's name is Nikki, so you're not that far off.
Okay. The Zoom court video is back up on my Rumble. I don't care what the FBI says. Dabbleverse TV. That's associate producer Ralph, guys.
Nice.
Yeah, go support. Rank in order of strength. Stuttering John's greed, laziness, narcissism. Great question. One. Wow. Okay. One. Top three.
It's hard to wrestle with greed and laziness, right?
Yeah.
Like, greed is inherently busy, and John's laziness definitely beats that out every time.
Yeah.
Well, as a Jew, if I may speak on greed, it's not always, doesn't always mean busy. It could also mean, you're greedy in the sense of maybe I'm going to rob to get this. Maybe I'm going to, looking at other people and becoming
just say
bitter.
it, scheme. You're going to scheme. We know what you guys are up to.
Thank you.
I think narcissism is like the umbrella, and everything else is kind of like a leg from that. I think that just takes over the whole thing, and everything else is a subset of that.
Yeah. I would say one interchangeable for me is narcissism and laziness. I would put at the top. I think for me personally, I would pick the laziness.
Yeah.
I think it all,
it's amazing.
It all stops from here. You know what I mean? There's nothing happening with laziness.
Yeah, because if he was greedy, he would have taken all of those offers that have been there was $2,000 offerings to him. I think to make appearances. So if his greed had anything to do with him and his personality, I think we would have seen him step up to the plate. However, he doesn't. So I think his narcissism trumps all of this.
Yeah, you're right. Because he was given $2,500 to take an IQ test against Blind Mike. I know Frog has challenged him to a fight, and we can all beat the fuck out of Frog. So the one he has no business challenging
10 grand, 10 grand winner take all. Money was ready to go, and he backed out.
Somebody should honestly make a sheet, a Google sheet of all the times we have offered to John, not just like hearsay, whatever, just say it. Actually be like, John, we will give you this money, and that it's been out there. Write it down, make a total, and send that to John, and just be like, you actually could have made this money and probably would have had people like you more.
Yeah.
Please.
Before DabbleCon, I want to say before the first DabbleCon, we talked about doing a roast battle and inviting John and renting out a theater. And we were going to offer him all this money for it. He will not do it.
No. Too much time.
He thinks he's too good for it. He thinks he's
he knows he's not good enough.
No, but he plays that character that's why when he's like, oh, I don't know who that is, like as if he's like too good for that. It's another Howard-esque characteristic that he's applied to himself. Like, oh, who's that? I don't know. Like, why should I know that person? I'm too good for that. Like, it's just an arrogant. You should put arrogancy instead of greed.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Missy because way back when when I first started listening to the Dabbleverse, and I guess he might have been following me along on Twitter or X or whatever you're calling it now, and he saw that I was doing a show, and he was like, hey, can you come on down and be can I come on and be on your show? So I had been listening to the show and watching the show and everything, and I was like, okay. He says, well, I'm going to come in and open up for you in this theater. And I said, okay, well, and I knew all about him. I was like, well, where can I get a clip of you doing stand-up? Because, and this was after the potato bar thing came out. I said, well, where can I get a clip of you doing stand-up? And he sent me back a message that says, hey, what he says to everybody, I was on the Howard Stern show for 15 years, and I was on Tonight Show. That should be enough. Okay, well, you know what?
Pro football arm wrestling
Yeah,
championship.
well, he didn't bring
Oh,
that part up,
shit.
and I was like, okay, that sounds great, but it's is it enough for me to put you on a show? And I hear that he's going back out on the road, and I don't know if you're going to get into this segment of it, and we can if you get later, but he's going to go back out and do this one man show,
Yeah.
and
I want him to.
I want
We
him
all
to do it
do.
too. And I actually, here's my thing, I actually kind of want to help him. I can get him a gig to do it at. I can get him a theater to do it at.
I'm sorry, but he will not accompany that well.
Exactly.
He will ruin it. He will shit on it. He will find a way that he disagrees with it, even though you're giving him every opportunity to do so.
Mhm.
The greatest example we have is with Vinnie Paulino and how much he helped John. And just
Absolutely.
because he didn't pick up his phone because he was in the middle of a meeting, which caused him to get pissed at Vinny, like it just shows you that if you step a little bit out of line and you don't properly suck his dick, then you will be kicked out, shit on, and that you didn't go his way, and he will bail out without any shame. That's the most fucked up thing.
Let me ask Missy something here because she might know. So, do you think his narcissism outweighs how much money he could make?
Yeah, he is in his own fucking way so much.
Because if someone came up to me and said, "Hey, Earl, here's a gig. All right, you perform at this theater, and we'll give you like 10 grand for the night," that's a no-brainer. Okay, but for a guy like that, would that be too much for that? Would that be like out of his element? He would just be so more narcissistic about it that he would not take that gig, you think?
He would definitely find an excuse. We see the way he masters excuses. I think anybody who would be considered his friend would encourage him to follow through with something like that, but I just don't think he's able to with himself. He will always be in his own way.
He left money on the table at Comedy with Carlson. Go back to the Vinnie Paulino.
He did.
Tickets were sold. Tickets were sold.
There's a good amount too.
Yeah, there was money there. It was going to be worth his while to do the show. And John was going through yesterday the list of people who backstabbed him. And he said, and Vinnie Paulino turned on me. Vinny never turned on John. Vinny went out of his way to not shit on John, even after they're falling out.
Let me tell you something. Vinny went so out of his way that Karl and I at times will go, "Are we going to lose this guy? Like, is he on Team John for life now?" And and just to recap the story for you, Missy, Vinny was on I believe Point DabblePoint, and John was texting him.
Oh, that was it.
What to say, and Vinny's focused on doing the show. John is texting him what to say to defend John, and he didn't reply. He didn't respond. He wasn't reading the text because he's doing a fucking show. And from that, John flaked on the next meeting they were supposed to have to plan his show.
Teach him a lesson.
To teach him a lesson, right? Yeah. And how dare the potato try and teach John a lesson when John's trying to teach everybody else a goddamn lesson. Now, before we bring up the one-man show, I do have some breaking news.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program.
Wait a minute. We just got this in. Breaking news. Breaking news.
Okay. John fessed up. He's leaving to not pay Vince the lawyer. He said he has to pay on 12/26, but after that, nothing, because he won't be streaming.
Wait, what does that have? So you're evading a cost? Like you just admitted to a crime? Is that what you just what?
How does
maybe not crime, but
how's that get him out of the what he owes Vince?
How is
And the quote is, "The Duke is smarter than the lawyer."
Absolutely, because people go to Duke school than they go to law school.
I love EDR, absolutely. So whatever that's all fucking about, I don't know that logic.
So this is completely, this is out of Vince's control, and Vince thought he had the puppet strings and he was all ready to play John, and John went, "Nope, I'm out of here." And Vince is now desperate to get control over John again, and it looks like he may have once again ruined the Dabbleverse. Thanks, BTM.
He is going through show withdrawals right now. He was texting me before the show, "Send me the link, send me the link." He's like scratching his arm, "Send me the link, send me the link." and he's dying, and it's like everybody's done with the guy. Everybody's moving on, including John, the one guy who I'm sure he thought, but he'll be back. You know he.
Vince, all you got to do is tell him you don't owe him any money, which is what I predicted you would do.
Yep.
So that's all you got to do, and then the Duke will stick around if that's true.
Well, there are rumors that the whole thing was bullshit on Vince's part to begin with. But while John did file an ethics complaint, this whole lawsuit thing was just to fuck with John and teach him a lesson.
Oh, there's rumors of that, are there?
Yeah. Some birds talking here and there, you know. I don't know for sure, but what do I know? I'm busy doing stupid shit. How did Stuttering John's Zoom court story not beat the Middle East conflict and Duncan Norville's death on international news? Here's to 2025 Stuttering John's stand-up rebirth. Yes, the one-man show. I'd like to get some thoughts on this because, number one, he pitches it as a one-man show, but then says he's just going to use his book as the outline. So it sounds like to me John's going to be going up reading his book out loud with a couple of new shitty jokes crammed in there, if we're lucky. Thoughts, Karl?
I don't think so. I think that he's going to outline his amazing life. And it's going to be inspirational. He's going to build this as it's a hilarious romp that's inspirational for anyone with a disability, especially those with a speech impediment and smelly Puerto Rican feet.
There you go.
There's the tagline, John.
When they tell you no, bring up their kids' photos. You know?
So relatable.
But
yeah.
John just like, I'm so good at crafting jokes. I've already written half of my one-man show. He was going to take a year off to do it, but he's like way ahead of schedule. So that's good news. I cannot wait to see this. I think he's going to pull it off. I have confidence in him. It's going to be great, John. You do you. You got this. Prove us all wrong.
Does anybody else feel like, Karl, that this is actually going to happen? EDR?
No. The one-man show thing, first of all, is pretty hard because basically when you go up on stage and you're doing like a theater and it becomes bigger than unless you're a big name comedian, people want to see people do comedy kind of in a theatrical sort of a thing. There's got to be a theme to it. You just can't go up and tell jokes. That's what they have like Seinfeld. Seinfeld doesn't have to walk out with a stage set. He just walks out because everyone's waiting for him. Okay?
Colin Quinn, if you've ever seen his stuff, Colin Quinn's one-man show is amazing.
And I can tell you right now, I'm sure Colin Quinn didn't craft that, so to speak, over in a month or 2 months or anything else like that.
Right.
The other thing too is crafting jokes. I never heard that before, but anything. The other thing too is you know him piecing this whole thing together. Everything that he believes he can have in this show is stuff that he has just spoke about a million times.
Yep.
So now he's going to have to take whatever that is, like I was on the Tonight Show, and you go, okay, we know that, and intensify it and mix it with some really inner close things that we can go, oh, wow. Other than that, he's just going to set up and tell the stories that he said forever for $2 super chats. It's not going to, I don't even see it happening. I say, you know, I was offering to help him come up with a venue and stuff, but now you guys have talked me out of that. I think I'm better off just sitting back and leaving him to his own demise and seeing how far it takes for nothing to happen.
EDR, that's a great point. John should not be doing a daily show. He shouldn't do a show 7 days a week. He repeats the same shit. It's all the same stuff over and over again when you tune into him, which is why a lot of people have a hard time watching John's show, but they enjoy his content through some type of lens or filter, and Uncle Rico at WATP, potato soup, something like that. Because you're right. John thinks he's so endlessly interesting that he doesn't realize how bored everyone is of his stupid Howard stories.
Yeah. And I'm with EDR on the fact that this is never going to happen. I mean, this is right up there with the comedy club, with his best friend, the guy at the Quick Care with an airport in his backyard. All these, you know, it's like,
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah, it's like the movie Big Fish, except at the end, none of these people show up. Like you realize as he's dying, it was all bullshit the whole time. You're right, but here's a great example of how you know this is never going to happen. That guy, Nasty Neil, was on his show, right? And John's explaining how he's going to do this one-man show. And Nasty Neil goes like, oh, so you're going to play all the characters yourself? And John goes, no, it's a one-man show. And he
Well,
goes,
there you go. There's a commercial for it right there.
yeah. And he goes, no, but like, there's other characters in the show. Like he's like a Bronx Tale. He's like, I didn't know about that. You're gonna do a one-man show, and you don't know possibly the greatest success story of a one-man show.
Mhm.
A guy doing this mob story, playing every character himself, then selling it as long as he was in it. Like that story, it's right up there with Stallone's Rocky, right? And you're an NYU film major. You don't know any of this?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I was in
It's gonna
film,
be-
not theater.
It's going to be big. It's like, do you want to go see Hamilton or Melendez?
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my God.
I just thought that was great. Where he's like, "So you doing all the characters?" He goes, "One man show. Why would I be doing characters?"
Here's another reason why it may not work is because, okay, where is John going to go to even get any stage time? I mean, that's the
Right.
hardest thing now. It's it's very clannish. I can't believe it says clan, but very clannish,
It
as
is.
far as getting on stage time now. It's not even about how good you are. It's about, hey, I know this guy, whatever, come on, get on stage. So I don't even know how he's going to even get on there to even to practice it, or to
Yeah.
even start. I mean, where does he start? If he gets on any stage in let's say the city, and he starts off with the set he did at the Potato Bar, he's screwed. He's never going to get back on again. And I think in 2024, going into 2025, it's everything he's done. It still hasn't carried it. It's faded now. Okay, the shine off of that is faded each year we go, and it's not enough to have him jump up on stage, to be able to get the time.
I just thought of where he's going to be trying out this material. Every phone call he makes all day long to whoever he talks to, he's
Yep.
going to be
Yeah.
trying this
Yep.
material out too. Guaranteed.
The club is called Dirty Deeds. It's where he's trying this out.
And you're right. I'm in the South now. Comedy, everything's clannish out here. I'll be
you
honest
can't-
with you.
can't-
It's
you can't
scary.
get any stage time now. That's why the best thing you can do now is to produce your own shows, because you can't get in like chuckle fucks for like for a week now, and they pay you like what, $50 or whatever they don't want to pay, because they know there's tons of these comedians are on. If I were him, I would take the time to go across the country and jump on open mic nights under an assumed name, and I would film that. That would
Please.
be part of it.
Wait,
Because
you mean
instead of-
him abandon the word the name Stuttering John? You're saying that he would have?
Yeah, I would just
Yeah,
go,
right. That's all he's
How about
got.
Twitching John? Just Twitching John. We'll just change it to something.
90 seconds into his first stage, he's like, all right, you got me. I'm Stuttering John Melendez from Alex.
Yeah, well, Missy's got a point there. I think it's ego. Well, it'd be nice to see how long he could do it before he snapped and went, hey, listen, this is who I
He
am.
can't even sit on the bar stool for 2 minutes without declaring he's
Jeez.
Stuttering John.
Yeah, he's telling 2-year-olds.
a funny thing to think about is, I mean, it's fact. A one-man show, a lot of work, a lot of preparation, a lot of memorizing. It's fucking hard. This guy thinks he's going to be doing whippets and walking out on stage and doing a one-man show off of 9 beers, whippets, and a gummy, and he's going to be up there telling a story where people are going to be moved.
Yeah, but if he forgets what he's going to say, he can make one of those silly faces he does, and everyone's going to be like, wow.
And that's the other thing too. It's like he talked about on his show, which it made me even crazier. He was talking about the underwear, the squeegee bit that he was talking about, and he was like, well, we all know what the bit is, but he goes, yeah, but you haven't seen it live, and when you see it live, apparently you're gonna just freak out,
No,
Oh,
you
it's
like want to
funny.
throw up.
Yeah.
Missy's seen it live. Missy knows.
I have seen it live. It's disgusting.
Well, that was a really, you bring that up. I remember that because it was such a funny super chat, because the person was like, you going to do that shitty squeegee bit to close? And instead of going, no, I'm going to close with something new, or I'm writing, he goes, well, if you've seen it live, you wouldn't feel that way. So yes, I will be closing with it.
You're absolutely right. I'm mesmerized.
Did you give your thoughts on the one-man show, Missy?
No, I didn't. I want him to do it. I really want him
course.
to do it. I think he would do. Not gonna say he would do great, but I would like to see him put the effort in doing it, because I think that could change a lot of people's opinions of him. I always have there is always a part of me that holds this little bit of hope with John that something good will come out of it. And, you know, I really hope he does it. I know he dupes me every time, but, you know, I still reserve, you know, that bit for him to do right, to make the change. And so I hope that he does. I do. I hope he does.
Yeah,
It would make him feel better. I don't think he realized that if he actually followed through with something, he would actually probably feel better about himself in a realistic sense, which is why he lies. He lies so much because he's miserable.
Yeah. Well, if he does it, I'm buying front row tickets for you and Ant right there because I want to see what it's going to take.
I don't want to be that close.
Yeah,
like Gallagher. You're gonna have a tarp.
But
Yeah.
I want to see what it would take for him to go out of this so-called set one-man show and do what he likes to call riffing, because you know he makes jokes off the top of his head.
Right. He's good.
So I'm wondering how long he would abandon what he had planned.
Well, I just want to say, like, when we perceive John now, the bar is so low.
Yeah.
So we're all trying to think of what a one-man show would look like from John, and it seems like it'd be hilarious and a disaster. On Dabblers Anonymous right now, they have pinned to the top a couple of old stand-up sets. And John was never a good stand-up. He's not a funny guy, but wow, is it a different person?
Yeah.
He actually stands up there. He knows his set. He delivers it. He's got a beer in his hand, of course, but he delivers the jokes and he sounds coherent. And if you were a foreigner, you'd be like, oh, it's probably a good stand-up because you don't know the language, and he's delivering it right with the right cadence. And he seemed like he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, people are laughing. And I compare that to High Pitch. If you go back and you watch High Pitch Eric's first appearance on Howard, you go, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
Right? He comes off as a normal guy with a high-pitched voice. And then you talk to him now and you're like, he can barely form a sentence. And that's why I think pills have a lot more to do with this than alcohol, because Eric's not an alcoholic. He's not a drinker, really. So
what are you implying here, Shuli?
I think pills make you retarded. I think is what I'm getting at.
I think I might be right. Yes.
Yeah. And again, we're all hoping this one-man show is going to happen, but here's the reality we live in. It's Monday, and he has Pat Dixon on his show right now. The description is, it's Patter Day. My God, he's dumb. Happy Monday, Skull.
It's Pun Day.
I guess Pat Day wouldn't sound right.
Shuli started a temple in Alabama. He clams to get exactly 1.6 thousand attendees every Shabbat Eve. Shabbat Shalom. Actually, we're at 15, so the temple's a little light. Hit like.
He's aiming for 6 million.
We can fit him. Missy B does the best Stut Joe impression. Agreed.
Yeah, you know, the Stut Joe impression. Yeah, I when she does it, for some reason, it's good. Like, okay, so I try to always go, oh yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna be all over him like flies on rice. You know. So.
Listen, some people you give them the phone book to read, and it's just the phone book. And some people can make the phone book funny. You know that, EDR. She's an artist.
Woman show.
I have to say, my impression of John is now my impression from my impression from like 5 years ago. It's gotten so lazy and awful.
It's a copy of a copy of a copy.
It's so bad.
Much like John, your impression's gotten lazy.
Yeah.
Not Stuttering John related, but my son won his second cage fight this past weekend. Oh, by the way, FSJ, FBL, TSN for life.
Badass.
2 short, long dogs. Congrats, brother. Raising a killer over there.
Yeah.
Jim Powell, who did he sing Purple Rain to the other day and then wink?
Oh,
did you notice that? I said we were watching Rico and out of nowhere he sings Purple Rain and then does a wink, and I go, that's to somebody. He did that for somebody.
So vomitous. It was just oh.
I mean, I'll just come clean. That's the song that we fell in love to.
I knew it.
It's our first dance.
No wonder he's so adamant about you being gay. He's hurt.
I know, right? It's
okay, let's throw this out there. He's claimed to be talking again to Kate Meany.
Yeah.
Kate has claimed otherwise in
Where
a
has she
brief.
done that?
I asked her. I had a brief conversation with her and asked her if it's because in my mind I'm like, there's no way this girl would be talking to him again, right?
Didn't go well the first time.
No,
Well.
like I could totally see that idiot trying to get back in touch with her, but I don't see her making.
Is she
it.
older than my oldest yet?
Yeah. I was trying to help her.
Well,
Yeah, right.
but somebody sent me a DM saying, "Do you think that was a song for Kate?"
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, for that, it'd be Chocolate Rain.
Hey, was that the sequel of Purple Rain? I didn't realize.
Yeah. It's more applicable to John, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, that whole thing with him and Kate. And when I remember watching that, and when him and Chad were kind of fighting at her, it just reminded me of like Popeye and Bluto fighting for olive oil, back in the day. It
Oh,
was
yeah, good
it was that
call.
whole thing, and it was just so weird. And everything he said about her and everything, only he would try to make that connection again. No one else in their right mind would try to do that.
Closest thing he had.
Yeah.
Hey guys, his new "I'll wait" bit is fucking enraging.
Oh my god! I was gonna
Also-
text that to you guys. I was gonna be like, "Oh wait," just out of context, just to see what you.
Also, I love he wore his faded football arm wrestling shirt to work. What an ass!
Oh, yeah, that was what he wore to his court date, right?
yes,
Dressed
and
for
then
court today.
and then changed out of it to do the show and put on a Motorhead shirt that rats have clearly started eating the back of.
Sorry, the other shirt though, real quick, the one that says like "Pick a Rescue," which
Yes.
was a conveniently placed shirt about his whole cats thing.
Yes.
So obvious.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Karl?
Did you ever have a substitute teacher who wore a T-shirt to class?
Never.
The
Never.
wood shop class guy, but even that was a button down.
Maybe, but he also had court that day. He had two important things to do, and he put on a T-shirt.
His idol is Mark Harmon from Summer School, so he's trying to capture that look.
He's like, it's a conversation starter.
even the wood shop guy wore a tie, and he would tuck it in his shirt so he wouldn't get caught up in the machine.
But you bring up a great point, Karl. Don't think for a second that he ain't wearing these shirts without thinking somebody's going to bring this up. With the older kids, especially, they'll ask. They'll ask.
For
The
sure.
Tonight
Can
Show
they
with
even
Jay
read?
Leno. Well, I mean, I don't think now, but won't stop him from trying. We still have a political show where he gives hot takes, like having no opinion on the Israel-Hamas war. P.S. Missy is Team Hamas.
No, I'm Team America.
There you go.
Fuck
Fuck
yeah.
that shit.
Fuck yeah. A Jew, a brother, a Rochester homosexual, and a chick. The Dabbleverse is more diverse than an AA meeting in Manhattan. Merry Sesmas, go Bills. Thank you,
Bills.
Marauder.
Can we do like a T-shirt drive for John? Like,
Oh.
Christmas, they have like, blanket drives, all that stuff for the homeless. Like,
Yeah, he needs.
he's
new shirts.
practically homeless.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
He's
Would he take
essentially
it?
homeless. So, I mean, this kind of goes back to that time where I said like, hey, let's do like a makeover with him. I think
Yes.
we should just send him nice shirts. Don't be a dick about it. Like,
Right.
send him some nice new shirts. He needs something that has a little more structure. I don't
It's a
know.
bright
Again,
color, too. Something that pops.
I don't know why he wears that pink. That pink is not his color.
Oh,
His
the
colors are,
grimace?
like, messed up. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
can't wear dark colors because his snot gets on it. We can see it.
That's true.
Yeah.
White, another obvious stain shower. Maybe we should just
What
get him
size?
brown shirts. Just get
There
him
you go.
brown
What
shirts.
size?
Oh, you'd
though?
like
I
that,
mean,
wouldn't you?
he's
Oh,
shaped
right.
weird.
He literally turns into the shit emoji on screen every day.
When
Hey,
he
listen,
was
I didn't tell him to
walking
get
in,
tiny hats. Jeez.
when he was walking in Vegas, and he was walking away from I guess it was Chad's place in Vegas, and you got a full shot of what his body type was. That is it's kind of really weird.
He's
I
a-
mean, his upper
He's a
body,
little man. He's a very
yeah,
little
and his
man.
arms are longer than his body.
Yep.
I mean, geez.
His neck is getting shorter and shorter. He looks that guy from 90 Day Fiance.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's got-
yes.
He's got little
Yeah.
person build,
That
Real
guy
quick.
actually has more of a personality than him.
That is
Yeah.
true.
He's getting laid.
Was a guy in Colin Farrell Penguin Mask, not me. All right. Daniel Poon, Mr. Poon is here. John is truly a definition of mentally ill. He claims to be a victim while still being the good guy, the underdog, but always the odds-on favorite. Yeah. You know who doesn't scream they're a hero? The person who's claiming to be a hero. You know what I mean?
He is walking, talking cognitive dissonance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everything he says is just like, how do you make sense of these things you're saying? It can't
Where is-
possibly be right.
Is there a part where it's not going to be funny? I mean, is there a part where it's where you think mentally ill? Because when I first met Karl, I thought, oh my goodness, we're kind of making fun of a mentally ill guy.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then the
everybody
more
goes
you-
through that.
But then the more you watch, and the more like when Missy makes some explanations of his behaviors and stuff, you go, this is a guy that's totally into himself. He's an insult to the mentally ill, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a guy you're going, wow, this guy's mentally ill. And then, a week later, you're like, this mentally ill motherfucker wants a piece. Let's go. I don't give a shit anymore. What do you think of that? I mean, this is the guy we're dealing with.
There is not anybody who knows me who doesn't think that it's not coming.
What? What does that even mean?
I mean, what? What are we
60% of the time, it was every time.
And my favorite.
How do you sleep at night, man?
Hammered. How do you sleep at night, man? The timing of Muttering Jay turning on John while he's beefing with Vince the lawyer tells me all I need to know about Muttering Jay.
That it's
Interesting,
Vince
right?
the lawyer.
I mean, it's a theory. People have had it. It's a rumor.
Yeah.
It's a rumor going around. John is such a deterrent. I didn't even have to go to rehab to quit opiates after 15 years and losing everything. I saw him, and that was enough.
Yeah.
There you
Good
go.
for you, Wes.
Another success story.
DPM. Karl isn't gay because he has no children. He's gay due to all those man shafts to have rested on his forehead.
LGBTQ plus.
Oh, wow.
There's an ally right there.
It's a,
EDR, your thoughts on John saying this last week?
Blacks.
Go ahead.
Was that a capital B? It better than.
Jeez, I think the whole
Well, if
thing was in caps.
Yeah, it was
if you
7.
notice, I've noticed a lot of that. He, outside of his chaser thing with the fireworks, he never really has anything disparaging to say about Black people. I think that's where he feels like he would really get in trouble. And of course, if he's looking at this, he's probably coming up with some other things now. But he says stuff about Shuli and gay and stuff. But he hasn't gone
His name
there yet.
He's an
Yeah.
gay.
I'm sorry, Shuli.
Karl,
sorry.
don't talk about him like that.
Sorry.
I did say this.
But yeah, but he hasn't gone.
Ends and Jews.
Yeah, he hasn't gone in that direction yet, because I truly believe in his mind that's where he thinks if he says anything that would make him really racist. The other stuff I don't think he understands.
No,
Yeah,
he does
I
not
mean-
understand it. That's true.
And it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. He can't stop it. His stupidity will come out no matter what. Last time Stuttering John banged was that black chick during COVID.
Yeah, that's what he said. But I don't know. Look, were we touching anybody during COVID? And why would you touch him? He looks like COVID when COVID wasn't even COVID.
Patient zero.
Adam, greetings from Ireland. I can tell you this, John, wouldn't last 5 minutes in a real Irish pub. They would take the piss out of him. Yes.
Yeah.
That's something I think we're all aware. Missy, Uber Alice?
It's love you, or like super awesome, or like all awesome.
Ah,
All great, all great.
Okay.
Oh, let me translate what people are saying about me from now on. I like your strategy right there. I think
Yeah.
he's saying I'm the best ever.
Oh, Uber
Moving on,
mentioned
moving on.
that's like great,
Mhm.
great. And Alice is everything.
And
Oh,
gay
so
means happy.
You actually speak German?
I took it in college.
All right,
Uh-oh.
we're getting her out of here now. That's enough of that. No,
Hey,
I'm
what
sorry.
the fuck?
High five.
I'm
I'll
not
only-
scared. I just bring up Jesse Owens.
Isn't the Rev Fugly, good to see you. Isn't the entire trans movement about being out and living their truth? So why does it matter that people talk about your trans kid? Are you ashamed, Stuttering John? Interesting point. John is the ultimate supervillain who masquerades as a weak piece of shit, but still isn't allowed to drop bombs on the reg without consequences. But still is allowed to drop bombs on the reg without consequence. What the hell? Get out of here.
Oh,
What are you doing here?
That's going to be a screenshot.
Hey, listen, I don't even know if I should. That.
You think an action figure is funny? Shit, will ya?
Put it in my
I'm pissed
ass.
off. Well, hold on. Let me go get my Dr. Martin Luther King action figure.
Yeah, good.
All right, yes, please. balance this out.
I tried watching Stuttering John and Dixon today. It's like carbon monoxide exposure. Nothing at first, then dizziness, nausea, and eventual loss of IQ points.
Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
it's hard to
Oh, the fire
watch
station.
without you guys stopping and checking him. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't watch him unchecked. I mean, that's what drives me the craziest.
Yes, Frog. What'd you want to say?
Speaking of today's show, right at the very end, this happened. I'd just like to get everyone's thoughts on it.
Oh, great.
Sure.
Ending. Thanks for the $2. Thanks for reading super chats below 5. No problem. I mean, at this point, I don't give a shit because I am leaving, but I don't know. I might change my mind.
You reserve the right.
Yes, it's my choice.
Dude, all you gotta do
Wow.
is keep this up for 2 more weeks. You fucking idiot.
Can't.
Who's the other guy?
That was
Dixon.
yeah, or a shop teacher. I don't know.
Yeah,
He looks like he looks
I've hung
like
out with Pat Dixon. He looks very different than Pat
on
Dixon.
insides.
Yeah. Yeah. Pat's on a run right now, man. Lots of boomer judges still have no clue how to work Zoom. I'm
That's
sure.
true. That's true.
A Jew, an anti-Semite, a black guy, and a gay dude walk into a bar. Well, you guys are starting all these. Give
Yeah,
me a
we
goddamn
need some
punchline.
punchlines.
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, payoff. Come on.
He has a scroll. No super chats under $4.99. Will read, but then just read one for $2.
Yeah.
He
Kindly
one day-
dissonance.
Yeah, one day he had a members only chat. It was a members only chat. And then he goes, "Oh, let me look at the pause real quick." It's like, it's a members only chat. Those people are paying to chat. You're an idiot.
John's more envious than greedy. How come everyone gets stuff and I don't? Is his attitude.
Yes.
Yes.
For
Very
Yeah,
much
that's
so.
true.
Al Dente. About 15 minutes ago, he told Pat, "I might not be leaving. Don't make me go back there for a timestamp. I just got out off my level A hazmat suit." No, don't worry. We just watched it.
What were you at John's apartment?
I think Frog just stole that from a super chatter. Was trying to take credit before he pulled it up.
That's what I like over here. We're into stealing here. We reward it. Good job, Frog. Who is playing the man in John's one-man show?
There is a specific joke there that I will not say.
I know. There's a good setup.
Oh
Carl.
no.
Earl, miss you on the X. Talk to Nipsey lately?
No, I actually haven't talked to Nipsey in about a couple of years, though. We've been texting back and forth. Radio's one of those things where you think you have friends, but then you never end up staying together and talking afterwards.
Yeah,
It's
so's
either because
comedy.
of
You know
a
that.
different lifestyle, or you're arguing, fighting with each other. I mean, Anthony and what's the other guy's name?
Exactly.
No one knows.
Exactly.
For a big example, you know.
John is less talented Buddy Young Jr. He will sabotage his career at every turn. What a pull, Buddy Young Jr. I'm a moderate conservative, but respect progressive liberals. John is a political hack that regurgitates PMSNBC and social media memes. He's a piece of shit. Agreed. Wow, 13 months of saying, surely this guy won't live much longer.
Oh, no.
You want me doing it for 13 months? Because we're at like 68, I think, at this point.
Yeah, dude. With John's one-man show, all I can picture is an audience filled with trolls resembling all the gremlins watching Snow White in the theater. What
That's
a great
hilarious. That's a great visual right
wonder
there.
what his
All of
stage set
us
would be like.
going,
Yeah. Someone do it. The green screen, the
That's
theater.
hilarious.
I might go light my menorah in South Carolina just to see Missy and Ant when they come throw a brick through my window since I missed DabbleCon.
Well, it's after Christmas and Christ is born.
Chris Engler says, practice? Yeah, he doesn't think he's going to be practicing the one-man show, Earl, so I don't think you have to worry about it. Did you already talk about his Stuttering John Presents pitch to Pat today? Imagine the fool that would pay Pat and Gino to host shows. Oh, wait, what is he pitching?
Oh, is he going to do another comedy show, another Stuttering John and Friends thing? And now it's going to be
Oh boy.
Gino and Pat. Well, I mean, he wouldn't have those two together, obviously, but he's trying to get another comedy show going.
I mean,
That'd be
okay.
awesome.
You know, I'm in.
What
Let's
is
go.
all right? Let me ask the question because I honestly
Yeah.
don't know. I'm friends with Pat. What's he doing? Does anyone know?
I have no
I-
idea.
I haven't reached out to it. I would never question someone for whose show they go on or what they're doing. I don't judge anyone for doing people's
No.
shows or anything like that. But I do wonder, like, he's, the first few times, like, whatever, he's talking to John. And now it's like every Monday. Like, what's Pat up to? What's going on? Does anyone know?
From the outside
No.
looking in, it's like, if it's not like you two guys, it seems like everyone else is still trying to find their footing on where they belong. So now they're just jumping into anything to see what sticks and what clicks.
But
shouldn't
I don't
you
see that with
like
Pat.
an end game kind of thing, or like you don't just be like, oh, maybe if I team up with Stuttering John, people will then love us both. Like obviously, that's ridiculous.
I just think there's so many people with different agendas in this Dabbleverse that Pat's kind of like, this is what he's down to now. Like this is it. Maybe this is, I don't know, maybe Pat's in a place mentally where he's like, this is the one guy that won't fuck me over, but he is the guy. He is the guy.
I think he's up to something. I don't know this firsthand.
I know when Pat was
He's
working
smart.
here, he started watching Uncle Rico. He hadn't watched it until he started doing a show here. And he was like, dude, I've been deep diving all weekend. He's like, I can't stop watching these episodes. He's like, this guy's unbelievable. And it wasn't like, I can't wait to be friends with this guy. Unbelievable.
Right.
It was how we all see him as unbelievable. So
I think he just finds him intriguing, and he's just gonna. This is like a specimen for him.
I could see that, but like, I don't know.
Yeah, what's the end game?
Right. Like,
I think Dixon's smart enough to have something. What that is, I guess we wait and find out.
We wait and find out.
I feel good because I was feeling dumb for even asking. I'm glad all of you went, I don't know either. Okay, good.
Yeah. No, I mean, every one of John's co-hosts, we've had that discussion where it's like, this guy trolling or what? And we're like, well, what's the long con here? Like, what's the payoff?
Well, at least we know that Pat Dixon won't allow John to be a piece of shit to him. Like Pat Dixon will just like punch him in the jaw or something.
That's true.
He's been known to do that.
Shame on you, Shitwaya and Lady K, for mocking John's one-man show. You both know you'd pay any price and drop everything to go. Hypocrites.
We weren't
That's-
shitting on it
We're
at all.
not.
No.
We did it like
I'm buying season tickets to this thing. Are you kidding?
Listen, we talked about producing the show, for goodness sake.
Yeah, that's right.
We're talking about putting it on. I'm ready to have a whole extension out here for him. But
I'll
he
buy a
has
house.
tears in my eyes.
I'll buy a house in the theater and rent it out as an Airbnb, so all you guys can come and watch it.
Yeah, and one has nothing to do with the other. We can mock it, and I'll still be there opening night.
Oh, absolutely.
In a tuxedo.
We could have a GoFundMe to at least help with it. Like I think that would actually do well. But
I
would
might be an
probably take it.
usher. I'll have the flashlight showing people where their seat is.
Listen,
This is your pile of trash here, sir.
I'm serious here. Hear me out. WATP and Uncle Rico fully fund John's one-man show. You
Presents.
tell us what
Stuttering
you need,
a
John,
one-man show.
but we have creative input. Okay? Well, actually, you know what? I don't even want creative input. No, I take it back.
Yeah,
You
let
have
John do it.
creative input.
Yeah.
We'll just back you. Whatever you need, we'll back you. Let's go.
we
Let's
gotta get
go.
a stage set.
Sales absolutely would help with ticket sales.
Oh yeah, you can.
Oh yeah.
WATP and Uncle Rico present.
No, what you do is you have this stage setting.
Carl's
is
on
what
the
it
phone.
is.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Carl, who are you on the phone with?
Hello, Radio City Musico? What's your August look like?
Yeah, scoot over, Rockets.
Hold on. Madison Square Garden, you have my email. Reach out there, please. Thank you. All right. Let me jump through these super chats and wrap things up here. Jake LaMotta's one-man show and Raging Bull vibes. That would be great. How did Gary Payton end up in the Dabbleverse?
You know what? I've been getting Gary Payton for years. For years.
Great.
I've been getting Gary Payton.
Nobody fuck with Peyton. That dude was crazy. He would fucking
Yeah.
people up. Wow, this is all of Stuttering John's favorites. A female, black guy, Jew, and just do it. How about them Bills? Love you guys. Mike
How about
P.
them Bills, Michael P?
What a
I gotta
game
tell you,
last night.
the Bills, I've never really jumped on that train, even though I spent time up there. But I
Yeah.
went down this thing looking at with Josh Allen and stuff, and he's a really impressive guy, and I truly believe that he's probably leading that MVP race. If
Yeah,
you don't
for sure.
get over Saquon Barkley, you know.
I was
Yeah,
getting a
Karl
lot of,
feels the same. Karl feels the same way. That's why he wanted him traded in week 4.
all right,
Yeah.
enough
Well,
about
listen,
that,
that's part about being a Bills fan. You know, you love them,
Right.
you hate them.
I was starting the MVP chants last night, and I wasn't getting a lot of people going along with me. Let's put it that way.
Hypocrite.
They were not happy with me.
Hey, all. Missy B, my hero. Karl, I can't believe you thought his tears regarding teaching last week were real. Cardiff's courtroom drawings, genius.
Oh, I stand by that. I think John was thinking back to how he fucked up with his kids, and I think those were real, but I could be wrong.
The old acting technique. Okay. John would be perfect for Queer Eye for the Straight Guy if he was straight. That's a great point.
Oh,
Sid.
yeah. Absolutely.
Great point. You do realize he doesn't know what a one-man show is.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let him have it.
John. We got it.
All the more reason to fully fund this project.
Let him have it. Let him have it.
No one's being up the AI. No one's bringing up the AI kissing
right.
video with John. Yeah,
I
that
played
was
that
pretty
on
funny.
WATP this week, and John didn't know what it was at first. He thought Bob and Shuli were making out.
Yeah, that's the work. We're
great.
actually gay lovers. Just getting here. I didn't know Kevin Hart was a dabbler. Big Daddy Dodo checking in. Missy B, the Nazis have your family. You have to open mouth kiss one of these 3 men. John after 20 beers, Rob after 3 White Claws, and Clay. Go. Who do you pick?
Clay smokes cigarettes. I don't like that.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I think
Rob
I would go
smokes
Rob.
coal. Yeah.
Hey, Robbie!
Really?
Wow.
For you, buddy.
I had to choose it.
You know, that Missy B's all right now that I think about it.
He did call my
another guy.
hair. My hair was like a Shih Tzu or a Schnauzer once.
Of
I think
course.
he.
Petting you.
Yeah.
Of course. It's always
Hey,
got to
looks
come
like
back
my
to
girlfriend.
breeds. You know, it's always got to come back to dogs.
Looks like my neighbor's dog.
Missy B, come visit Egypt and bring Anthony. I'll take you guys out. No Shulies, though. No Jew hate, just for their safety.
I don't
EDR, welcome
know.
to join.
Israel's trying to take over Egypt right now.
Yeah, hey, it's on our list. It's on our list. Him saying blacks like that make him sound like a female Lisa Lampanelli.
Yeah, I think that's where he stole it from. I mean, a lot of the stuff he does are from other comedians with the Bob Nelson thing he does.
Yes.
A lot of other things he does. I mean, he just he just kind of cherry picks.
Hold on, that was a very funny chat. It makes it sound like a female Lisa Lampanelli. That's pretty.
Yes, that was
It
good.
is,
I
yeah.
did miss that. Luigi Mangione has better popular vote than Stuttering John. Also, Team TSN FKB. Thank
It's
you.
not even close.
Not even.
He killed it.
Why why you trash me? You're all having fun, but how can you make jokes when those poor innocent kids had their favorite substitute teacher taken away because of an evil potato?
True.
The kids.
He could start crying, but once you mention potato, I start laughing.
Yeah. Well, how do you sleep at night?
How do you sleep at night, man?
How do you sleep?
Mm,
I like Missy's T-shirt idea. Frog, get a crate of TSN and WATP shirts ready to ship.
T-shirt drive.
Looney Tunes, one-man show. All 3 of those words are misleading. It won't be a show. He isn't a man, and there won't be one. Boom.
One too many.
One-man show. Is this John taking on 101 male partners? Oh, you think he's doing a gangbang thing?
Oh,
That'll
Jesus.
work. Carl, you can only watch one. The Bills playing in the Super Bowl or
Oh.
going to John's one-man show.
Easy answer. Because I've seen the Bills 4 times in the Super Bowl. It's not fun.
At least going to John's show, you know it's not going to be fun going into
It's
it.
going to be great. Yeah.
Thank you. Why you trashing me? Great question. And Mike, shitty internet provider. It's Mrs. C's birthday tonight. Show up, everybody. You got it. Mike, shitty internet provider. Thank you for the $2. Happy birthday, Mrs. C. Anything we can plug for Missy for you? You're just
I mean,
chilling.
my Twitter, if John doesn't get it taken down, which I go for it.
Hey, go follow her before it gets shut down. John's working on that next. Chad's Patreon, now Missy's Twitter. EDR, what can I promote for you, sir?
Listen, January 11th, the Majestic Theater in Pottsville, Pennsylvania, and then which is almost sold out. I want you to hit the boasting thing. I love that. That's my favorite one. That and John.
No
and,
one told me there was going to be boasting.
I love that one, and I like that the military thing that you talk about, John. Every time you do that one,
I never had a
almost do.
desire to go into the military.
And your new favorite one.
Blacks.
And also in April, think about April 19th, the Allen Theater in Annville, Pennsylvania. So Earl David Reed on Twitter. Just follow me and at Earl David Reed 1 Instagram. So there you go.
Karl?
So WATP this week, we just put it out wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen to it for free, wherever you just hit subscribe, wherever you listen to podcasts. We talked about Todd Pettengill. I was over with my buddy Drew Lane from many years on the Drew and Mike show. And over in his studio, we talked about Todd's last day on the radio, May 31st, 2019, and his teary goodbye leading to him doing the Hey Todd show from his house in Texas. We also broke down Ron and Ron. So Ron Bennington and Ron Diaz.
That's old school.
Had Don Johnson on, a very drunk Don Johnson promoting a new Planet Hollywood in Miami. And that is hysterical. Mike Kelta slapped back at us. His wife is very upset that we were making fun of her. So check that out. We did a lot of people who love radio. We were talking to radio guys about some old stuff.
Love it.
Revisiting some things.
When are we going to have Missy B and EDR on Rico? Whenever they'd like to join, they are more than welcome.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Okay, done. We'll get it.
Hey,
We'll get it on
Missy,
and popping.
I want Anthony sign my book for me. Will he sign it for me? If I could send it to
Did
you.
you
or something
send
like that?
it?
Yeah, I'll send it. He sign it for me, and I want to get a picture
send
with him.
it and then have a self-addressed little envelope in it, and we'll.
He can come over.
Where
He ain't
you
falling
at?
for that shit. He ain't falling for that. Nice try, Earl.
It's
Like tripwires.
Yeah.
Look, I'm in the whitest neighborhood it is, if anything.
You can't do business with Stuttering John. He'll back out, not show up.
Yeah.
$5, big fan.
Yeah.
Very true.
It's fun to try.
It is. We can dream, can't we, people? That's what it's all about. The dreamers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. On your way out, if you don't mind, hit like, hit subscribe if you're not, notify. And we will be seeing you soon. Go support everybody, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you to the guests. Bye.